Hello, fellow panel cheers. Welcome back to Patreon Pick of the Week, where we come and talk about our stack for comics for the week. We end the show with our favorite pick of the week, which is our pick of the week. and we also finish the episode each week with our group read, which is the Frank Miller run on Daredevil. We picked this because it is available on Libby and Hoopla. It's free with the library card. So anyone can read along with us. We read 2 issues per week. And this week we are reading issues 175 and 176. Now, if I don't get tongue-tied again, Jarrod, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay, Steve. So, yeah, kind of a light week for us here for comics. But I made up for it. I had fun searching around and finding stuff to read.
Yeah, I think it's funny because every week we preach, get on Libby and Hoopla and you take advantage of it. And you actually did.
I did. I took advantage of it. Yeah.
We finally practiced what we preach around here. But yeah. Yeah, it was a very light week. We have a short list this week. But yeah, I think you mentioned having to dig through some old comics and you found one that you really enjoyed. So looking forward to hearing about that one. What was that like to dig through old comics looking for something to read?
That trip down memory lane, because some of the comics I have down there are pretty old. I've had them since the 90s, and so that's and it's nice to take it out and see that it's still in pretty good condition, and that these Mylar bags actually work. So
yeah, I was curious what it would be. I wonder if I'm sure someone's tested this, but I wonder if you leave a book just sitting out somewhere on a shelf and then you have the same book, the same paper, everything else, put it in a bag, seal it, and you come back 20 years later. Is there a huge difference? I mean, I wonder if, I'm guessing sunlight is the condition, humidity, all that stuff plays a part in that. But
yeah, well, I know the Mylar definitely works pretty well because some of these comics that I have been through a couple moves. They've sat in basements that were, I put a dehumidifier down there because it's it can get damp. So yeah, I gotta say the protection is worth it.
yeah.
Because I definitely did not have the best conditions as far as storage rooms and stuff like that. So
Pretty impressive. Did you have a lot down in the room where you had the dehumidifier? Did you Did you strategically put other things in that room?
Like strategically put in
Other
no,
things to prevent humidity from
no,
damaging
no, no. It's just a cellar with it's got some drums down there and table,
Oh,
what have you.
well, humidity can wreak havoc on drums, from what I understand. If you're not careful, yeah.
And that was the reason I got the dehumidifier, was just for that. But it works for the books too, and
Yeah.
it and that's they've been down there for 12 years now. So
Wow.
I think the Mylars work pretty well.
Nice. Sometimes when you're bagging a stack of books, you're like, "Is this really worth it?" But it turns out it is.
Yeah.
So every week we like to have a kind of a topic to discuss before we get into our stack. And this week I thought we'd talk about so Warner Brothers has been trying to sell for years. They've been setting themselves up for sale for a long time, for I think 5 or 6 years. And so I think Zaslav took over. I think his whole goal was to make Warner Brothers attractive for sale. So they finally were, it's gotten to the point where they're up for sale, and Netflix has an agreement in place to buy Warner Brothers for $83 billion.
I'm broke as shit.
And it turns out Paramount is trying to trying to jump in and they have a competing bid. So they're trying to hostile. It's a hostile action. They call it. This whole. There's a lot involved in this sale, but I thought we might want to speculate on what this could mean for DC Comics and the DC Studios, because assuming the Netflix deal goes through, which it's not a guarantee it will, assuming it goes, there's a lot of political and other things behind Paramount jumping in, which I'm sure we could spend like an hour talking about that. But assuming Netflix buys Warner Brothers, Netflix, we talked before we started recording, but they're notorious for axing shows before they complete because they're not bringing in subscribers. With Netflix being so focused on the digital arena, they're not interested in theatrical releases. They want everything on the streaming platform, which, that's their bread and butter. But do they really care about DC Comics? Or do they want a publishing arm? Is it something that they would even be interested in? I think it's fun to speculate on what. I mean, who knows what could
Yeah.
happen? But so
I you wonder if they even thought about it because like the comics is such a small part
yeah,
of what makes up Warner Brothers and Discovery, and
hmm
um, it. I don't know how much of that even plays into their thought process about the publishing part of it, and even and Paramount too. I mean,
yeah,
both sides. Um, and so when we wonder what's going to happen to the publishing side of DC Comics, um, I think it's going to be a matter of like whoever takes over Warner Brothers, are they actually going to look that far down the line and say, "Oh, we don't need this," or let's make it better. You never know. It could
yeah,
be the other way. It could be like, oh, let's actually turn this into something that is going to make money, and it could be a big shift in how they approach publishing and what have you.
hmm
Um, yeah, there's nothing written and guaranteed that either Netflix or Paramount can't get into other avenues of entertainment business. Um, that's I think that would be an optimistic view to think that they would want to ramp up publishing and make it more visible. I mean, all they got to do is look at what manga does in
yeah,
Scholastic and say, "Hey, these two publishing houses are doing it. You know,
hmm
they have big profits, and why can't DC do it as well?" So that could be a big change there. On the other hand, they could also just snuff it out like a candle flame and
yeah,
leave us all in the lurch.
yeah. So I okay. So this is, like you said, I think it's an afterthought. I don't think big picture they really considered DC Comics. I mean, you're talking about a $83 billion sale. The publishing arm is probably, it's on the very close to the bottom of the list, and their priorities. They're more interested in the properties that they're getting in the streaming catalog on HBO Max or whatever it's called now. So you have to wonder. So DC Studios can be profitable. The movies can make money if they make good movies, which has been debatable for a while. But if assuming that they put a focus on DC Studios, I would assume that they wouldn't want to axe all the comics because that's their
Right.
source material. But right now you can buy DC Comics on Comixology on Amazon, and I'm assuming that'll stop pretty quick if the sale goes through. Netflix will not want their comics being sold on Amazon through Comixology. So you can also have the glass half full, which is rare around here for me, but you could also have the optimistic view that maybe this will revolutionize comics. I mean, maybe they'll create a new digital platform that you can purchase your comics on day to date. If they are in the digital space and they have the streaming platform, maybe they create a new app where you can buy your comics the same day they're released digitally. I know not everyone likes digital. I do sometimes for some books, but they could create a brand new platform that we get our comics on. We can buy trades, we can buy whatever else we want on it, and we can, you know, maybe it'll change. Maybe it'll be a good thing for
Yeah,
comics.
you never know because it could be that somebody's all these people who have Netflix subscriptions all of a sudden see a little thing that says read comics here. You
Hmm.
know, could that open up new customers and avenues of readers and make new readers out of comics? Who knows? Because nobody goes to read DC comics now online and with unless they've already been a reader, you know. Because it's like, where do you go? Where do you go? Like, you go to Amazon, you can go to Prime, right? And whenever a commercial comes up in Prime, they always have a thing that says, click here to go to
Oh
get the
yeah,
product or whatever, Um, I think, and I don't want to give Amazon any ideas, but they could probably even ramp that up and make it more annoying for us.
yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah,
but Netflix could end up doing the same thing. You never know. The way the industry is changing so fast. Um, Not just the comics industry, but the entertainment industry in general. Things are getting shaken up. Netflix is shaking them up. Um, they they're fighting the, like you said about the theatrical release thing. They throw their movies out there for a week just to get them eligible for whatever,
hmm,
and that was a fight from what I heard. But
yeah.
um, because they are changing, because they changed the industry, they changed what how people watch stuff, and everybody jumped on that bandwagon of streaming at home.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, is streaming comics the next thing that's gonna help that industry, or will it hurt it? We don't know. It's really an eight ball.
Yeah, I'm in no way advocating digital only comics because I think that's scary. Just like with streaming and digital movies and digital TV shows, you don't really own what you pay for. You are leasing it. You don't, just like Kindle books with Amazon. They can edit them, they can change them, they can remove them from your Kindle device without telling you. So I'll always be a physical media person, but maybe if they can do both and they can bring in new readers digitally through Netflix or the platform, maybe those readers will turn into physical book readers, and maybe it'll revolutionize the comics industry in a good way. Maybe it'll benefit the physical media side of it too, where maybe they will have a push for the publishing arm. I mean, maybe someone will be set in place where that it turns out to be a net positive. But for as shrewd as Netflix has been shown to be, and obviously you see their worth, it's worked out for them. If you're talking bottom dollar, then then by coming in, just say this is not making us money. We're not going to allocate resources to this and close up shop, and we'll put it away for years until down the road maybe we'll revisit it. But who knows? I mean, it's all speculation.
Yeah, I know. We might be looking at it as comic book fans and saying,
Yeah,
"Hey, this is what we could do." If
yeah,
we were the owners of Netflix, but the owners of Netflix are gonna do whatever's best for their pocketbook, and
yeah.
we have no idea whether DC Comics is even in their radar at all. So,
I doubt, unless maybe there's a comic book fan,
yeah,
high up in the Netflix ladder that is going to go out and advocate for it. Maybe that'll happen. I mean, maybe something will come of it. I don't know that they'll axe the whole thing, but you never know. I mean, it is very interesting though. Lots of changes coming.
yeah. I mean, I think Netflix did enjoy a modicum of success with their Marvel adaptations way back in
Mhm.
the early 2000 or early 2010s or whatever it was. And you never know, they might look at this is an opportunity to do a similar thing with DC properties and what have you. So we'll see.
We'll see. Very interesting stuff happening for sure. Have to wait and see, but it'll be. I'll have my popcorn ready. But the whole sale thing is really it's a whole it's with Paramount coming in and the political implications of that because the people at the higher ups at Paramount have friends in the White House, and it was made very public that if Paramount won the bid, they would be approved. They would be fast tracked for approval. Netflix came in and they came in an agreement, but there's antitrust things to worry. There's a lot of hurdles still to go, but when you're talking billionaires, I mean things work differently. So
Yeah.
who knows? Who knows? But it'll be fun to watch.
Well, Steve, let's put a package together and put our bid in too.
I got $20. Let's make this happen.
I got 4, so
Yeah,
we got it.
$24, and that's our final offer. Take it or leave it, or walk out. So, yeah, it'll be fun to watch. Hopefully it's not sad, but we'll wait and see. With all that said, we'll get into our very short list this week. Just a few. I think with the holidays and your book shipped late or you didn't arrive on time, and I think just there wasn't a whole lot this week that I really caught my eye. So I think it's just the holiday stuff. But the first one was a book that I actually didn't get to last week, which is Berserker: The Bleeding Tide #1. I've never read a Berserker book before. It's my first time. So it's Berserker apparently is immortal. Like I said, my first book. First time reading this, and he is rescued. He was rescued by a woman who is a vampire who's on a pirate ship, and they find each other. They bond over their shared immortality. So they have if you find someone with something in common with you, there's some romantic tension going on there, but they bond over the fact that they're both immortal, and she's searching for something, and that's pretty much the book. I mean, the story was very light. There wasn't a whole lot of meat on the bone. The art was fine. I was pretty underwhelmed. It's like, okay, that's cool. So maybe fans of Berserker, the previous books will enjoy it more, but I just wasn't. Yeah, it was take it or leave it. So it'll probably won't continue. It just didn't do much for me. Let's see. I'm slow on the trigger.
Is this the one that
Keanu
Reeves is involved? Yeah. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I can't help but think, whoa, whenever I see the character. So.
I know. All right. My first one here of the week is from my friends at Distillery Comics, and this is "You Won't Feel a Thing" #1, which was, and it's written by Scott Snyder with art by Jock, the artist Jock. And when I heard those two names, I immediately assumed it's going to be some sort of horror book. But it turns out it's actually more of an exploration into somebody kind of losing their memory a bit and losing their an older guy, and he's in a home and he has trouble with his mind, and I don't know if they haven't really explained whether it's Alzheimer's or something else like that, but he was an ex-cop who was an expert at tracking down serial killers. So that's, I guess that's the horror aspect of it, just a serial killer thing. But it's not like a supernatural horror type thing. So I found it interesting because I found the character of Johnny very interesting, and how he goes through the motions with his aide, Kala there, and she's trying to do these mental exercises with him to get a help him with his memory and stuff like that. And the name of the town that this takes place in is called Harmless, Montana, which I think
Hmm.
that's a little kind of a what do you call that? It's a play on words that Snyder's using to play with our expectations, because of course his line of work was anything but harmless, and so I just I enjoyed the character work in this book.
Hmm.
Um, for Jock's artwork is something you kind of got to get used to for a little while. He did some Vertigo stuff a while back, that I think became a movie. I'm not sure, but anyways,
Oh,
but the but his artwork, it just takes a little getting used to. It's got those dark lines, and it's very well done. But you have to like, I don't know, let your eyes adjust a little bit, and then you can like kind of figure out, oh yeah, okay, you end up feeling, you end up figuring out who's who, and once you get used to it, you realize that it's actually pretty well done, and he's actually a really good artist. He just
hmm.
has a certain style, that you have to get into, and once you do, it's actually a pretty good job on the artwork, and it has a long, slow build up with some tension, and it seems like Snyder has some real passion for the subject here. This just seems like a kind of a passion project for him, and so you can tell that they're two artists trying to put their all onto the page, and I appreciate that. And there's a lot of neat closet metaphors in here that have to do with opening doors in the mind and stuff, and so
Oh, okay.
it's pretty cool. So a pretty decent first issue. I'm gonna check out the second one when I get it, whenever it comes around, and see how it goes. I'm not sure if most of Distillery stuff is limited series, so
Hmm.
I'm not sure how long this one's supposed to be, but a pretty solid first issue. Nice long slow build up, but it built up tension, and it built up passion for the subject matter, and I appreciated that. It was good.
Oh, nice. It's funny you mentioned Jock and Snyder. They teamed up on the next issue of Absolute Batman. I think it's 14,
Oh, really? Huh.
which is it's a one shot. I think it's the new Joker origin. So yeah, but I'm gonna have to check that out.
Oh, the title was The Losers that Jock worked on. That
Oh,
got turned
okay.
into a movie. Yeah, so that was his. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, I have to check out you want Phil. I think I've seen the title, but I haven't read that one yet. Oh,
It was pretty good.
yeah. So from it's kind of it was a short week, but it's kind of a rough week. So all the buttons ready for this one. So I usually stay away from holiday themed comics, holiday themed one shots, because they usually just don't. They're very timely, and it just it don't, it's not something you can really come back to. At least you have to be in the mood for it. And I should have I feel validated because I've been enjoying the Terminator series. I enjoyed the first arc, the Terminator arc. I've been enjoying the second, the Metal, the new series. It's been good. And so I thought, okay, the Terminator, Santa Claus is coming to town. I thought maybe they'll do something with this that'll make it brutal, and they'll do something that'll be interesting. Yeah, it wasn't. It is the whole book is about a Terminator who comes to attack a group of resistance fighters post Judgment Day. The resistance fighters are very casually watching their fellow humans die, and they just talk about how great Christmas used to be before Judgment Day. And that's all it is a Terminator dressed up as Santa Claus trying to infiltrate. And that's it. It was just an excuse to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year or whatever Happy Holidays, Happy New Year, whatever. And it's just, there's like almost no story. And just, yeah, I should know better. So I'm still going to read the Terminator Metal series. I just think these one shots like this that just have no substance is just an excuse to get in the holiday spirit. It's like, no, thank you. There's plenty of shit around to get us into the holidays.
Your language is offensive.
In the mood of the holidays, and it just yeah. So anyway, that's it, and I regret buying it. It was a waste of time, and yeah, that's it.
Shame on you, Steve. Shame on you.
I know. You got me.
Alrighty. So, I went searching around on Libby, and I found some issues of a series that I had initially bought the first few single issues when they came out, and then I kind of fell off for one reason or another. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to check them out and see if it was worth continuing. And I read Red Coat by Jeff Johns and Brian Hitch, issues number 4 through 7. Because that kind of tied up the storyline that started in issue number 1. And so I was just like, when I went on there, I was just like, oh, I'm just going to check out issue number 4 and see where it went. And these are fast reads. And so I flew through it, and I was like, okay, I'll just move on to number 5. And that kept going until the end of the storyline with number 7. So it ended up keeping my interest. And I like Brian Hitch's artwork. It's very good. He's a really good artist. And we all know Jeff Johns knows how to write a comic book. So
yeah.
So there wasn't like, that wasn't surprising that it was, decent material, and in the comics themselves were well done. I think why I kind of dropped off the first time I started this series was because it was kind of tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
The execution of it. I like the premise. It's about a guy who, during the Revolutionary War for the Americas, somehow becomes immortal, and he ends up he becomes immortal, and so does Benedict Arnold, of all people. and so the story picks up much later, when it's in the late 1800s, early 1900s sometime, where he's still around, and he actually meets up with a very young child, but a very young Einstein, Albert Einstein. And so, it's kind of hard to take seriously when you get these kind of things thrown in together. And but as I was reading these, Johns kind of makes it work, and he makes it fun. And then he brought in a whole bunch of elements in issues 4 through 7 here, where he plays with the idea of the whole founding fathers and what they actually wanted, and he discusses that a little bit. And he throws some conspiracy theory material in there, and he plays around with that stuff in a fun way. And of course he's throwing in a little bit of magic in there, to top it all off. And so I ended up actually ripping through these issues and just really enjoying my time with them. I didn't take them too seriously, but I thought he wrapped up the story very well, and I actually really like number 7 was just basically a big epilogue, and I really liked how he wrapped up the uh, the epilogue and how it all came about. And
Hmm.
so, if you're looking for some a good time, and go on Libby and get these free books, and you'll just fly through them, and it's just a borrow. So borrow away. um, it's totally worth it for the price you get you pay on Libby. But uh, so I'll keep going with this series as long as they keep showing up on there. And yeah, had a good time. It was fun.
Nice. Well, we actually do practice what we preach around here.
Yeah,
No, that's great. It's one of those. I almost forget sometimes to check Libby and Hoopla for books that I'm looking for that are not old but a few months old. I mean 6 months to a year old.
yeah,
Lots of stuff on there.
yeah.
Instead of
And
going out and buying them, you can borrow them.
I think there's movies on there too.
Ah,
And I think there's real books on there too.
yeah, there is. Yeah, there's
Uh,
music on there too. Yeah,
yeah, music. Yeah, yeah. I really need to take more advantage of it.
yeah, lots of stuff. It, like I said, I forget it that it exists sometimes that it's there. We should know because we spent like a week trying to decide what to read after the Dark Phoenix saga. So, but I just didn't. I just don't think about it. But good reminder. All right. So the last one before we get into our picks is Skinbreaker #3 by Image Comics, Robert Kirkman. Uh, so I'm still enjoying. This is about a tribe that lives on a planet. The hierarchy, they choose a new chieftain, the challenges that the chieftains face, the traits that they value over other traits. They value hunting and sort of dominance and that kind of thing. And change is not their strong suit. So I'm enjoying the dynamics and the challenges the new chieftain faces. This issue felt like a transitional issue. Like it felt like it's going to connect the other, to the future. It wasn't my favorite, but it was interesting enough for me to continue with this one. I have faith in Kirkman. Just it reminds me. I have to remind myself of books like The Walking Dead, and there's issue when we have a long series. There's issues in between that just are connective tissue. So it wasn't bad. It didn't really it didn't blow me away, but there was some moments. Really good artwork, and yeah, I'll continue with this one and see where it goes.
Is that David Finch?
I believe so. I can look it up, but it's and some of the artwork has like a yellow tint to it. I've mentioned this before. There's a reason for that art. So if it looks off, there is a reason for the yellow tint on everything. David Finch, yeah, was the artist. Yeah, really good stuff. Really good art. So with all that said, we'll get into our picks of the week. Going way back today.
Going way back, yeah. So like I said before, I went and dug into my collection down there, and I was just flipping through it, seeing what looked neat that I haven't looked at in a long time and wanted to kind of reread again. And so I found issue number 1 from Serious Comics back in 1997. Yeah, 1998.
Hmm.
1998. And this was a book called Artesia. And it's a fantasy comic because that's what I
Hmm.
was always looking for back then. And and it was done by a single creator called Mark Smiley. And
Hmm.
and I was always interested in a single creator's writer artist vision. I always have been, still am today. With people like Jeff Lemire and stuff.
Hmm.
And so I got this back then, and I was glad I did because I really loved it. This is a story. It takes place on a fantasy world, um, but it has a very Celtic flavor. It's very influenced by that that old Celtic, like the gods and stuff, like the idea of the Morgaine, the three goddesses of war and stuff like that, and all that Celtic terminology from pre-Christian times in the British Isles. And so it's influenced by that, but it's still its own fantasy world. It's not based on our world at all. Um, and so I thought it was really cool. The main character was a female who was a captain of a mercenary company,
Hmm.
and she is also a priestess who prayed to these gods and stuff like that. And there was a lot of there was some magic involved and some rituals, and you could see the the visions, the visuals of these these creatures, these angel-like creatures coming down and taking the dead away from a battlefield and stuff like that. So that was pretty cool. Which you might think is more like Valkyrie Norse related, but
Hmm.
the Celts also had their own mythology around that type of taking the dead from the battlefield. Um,
Hmm.
and so in this first issue, you just basically introduced to the setting. You're introduced to who she's working for in her mercenary um, capacity, and you're introduced a little bit to the politics of involved. You're not thrown into the middle of this huge world where you have to memorize all these different
Yeah.
places and names and stuff like that. You're only given a small piece of it right now, and I know from the past that does expand as the series goes on. But for now, it's the focus is on the main character, Artesia. That's her name, and it pretty much stays there for the most part as a series evolves and you get introduced to more stuff. But the artwork is fantastic. It's a combination of pencil and watercolor, and
Hmm.
as I'm showing Steve here, has this nice wraparound cover. Um, and it's all done by one guy, and it's very good. The artwork reminds me a little bit of we've talked about The Killer on this
Yeah.
podcast before, and it has that similar European style
Hmm.
of artwork there, and so it's well done book. It's one of my favorites that I've managed to keep over the years, and I've gotten rid of a lot of comics. So this is one of the this was a keeper.
Yeah.
So
Lots of
uh,
casualties.
yeah, so maybe I don't know if you can find this on Libby or not, but I would definitely check it out if you can. I'm sure you can find it in trades on Amazon or what have you. But Artesia #1, it's a blast from the past for me, but it's a pretty low print run book that if you can find it now, I highly recommend it. It's
Yeah.
especially if you like fantasy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's labeled as an epic military fantasy graphic novel with its known for its detailed world building and military focus, and it also spawned a role playing game.
Ah, that tracks.
Mhm. And he was nominated for an award for his work on it, and it won an Origins award, the role
Ah,
playing game.
oh, good, cool.
And it was originally published by Sirius and later Archaea.
That's right. Yeah,
I'm trying to see if where it is available. It looks like it's on Amazon.
might be. Yeah, I think it still is. Yeah.
So maybe it's still available somewhere digitally. I haven't looked on Libby or Hoopla yet, but hopefully it's available somewhere. 'Cause now I want to read it. But
Cool.
yeah, that's really neat. It's cool for us to go to the vault once in a
Go
while.
to the vault. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll open the vault occasionally. I'll have to do that more often.
yeah, it's fun to
Find
revisit
those.
old books. Yeah,
Yeah, just find the ones that you don't ever hear about.
yeah, yeah. It's good to do that. It's also it's like, where do you find them? So that sounds great. Where do I read it? But
Yeah, right.
I'll see if I can find it somewhere. So my pick this week is a book that I've been enjoying quite a bit. Another Geoff Johns book is Rook Exodus #9. In this issue, the Wardens are trying to save the planet before it deteriorates and is destroyed. And they're also searching for someone. I'm trying to be vague and not spoil anything, but they are uh, the planet. They're trying to prevent the planet from getting worse, and they find a new antagonist that is really creepy. And there's a revelation in this one I didn't think about too much until I didn't really consider it, but it made sense. Really good artwork. Jeff Johns knows how to write a story. It's just a solid book, and it sounds funny that it's in the beginning of each issue. There's a quick like rundown of previously on, and then it kind of it's real fast. It's there's not much, but it gives you a quick recap on what happened or how we've gotten to this point. And I really love that. I think it's nostalgic for me because it's nice to have that previously on, and you kind of have the little blurb. So I dig that for nostalgia reasons. But the story is churning along. I think it's keeping me interested the entire way through, and really great artwork. I enjoy the characters. I enjoy the way that the archetypes that they've created and they've played with. They continue to evolve and change, and it's just a good book. It's just a solid book if you're looking for something, uh, you know, science fiction. Give it a shot. I think there's some pretty neat things they have going on. So, uh, not so great week, but Rook Exodus was the one light in the darkness. So,
Maybe that's another one I'm gonna look up on Hoopla.
yeah, I was gonna say if Redcoat's on there. I mean, I picked up the first trade when I was sick, and I mean I was hooked. It pulls you in really fast.
Yeah, that is a good point about the little blurb at the start to catch you up. Because Redcoat did that too for every issue, and
Yeah,
I appreciate that as well. I think that's a good thing that Johns is doing with his line.
yeah, it's nice that he appreciates that. I think it's a wink and a nod to those dinosaurs like us. So, but it is time to get into the group read that we get from Libby and Hoopla for free.
I'm broke as shit.
Be sure to check that out. All you need is a library card and read along with us. We read 2 issues per week. And this week we are reading issues 175 and 176. And we start the issue 175 with some flash dance esque poses from Electra with very little clothes on. It was like, yeah, that's definitely early 80s. So yeah, we have more pink. The pink ninja we get the name, and we learn more about motivations and things like that. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Kirigi or
yes,
Kirigi, something like that. The pink name of the super pink ninja.
yes, very intimidating. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Uh, it was interesting. 175. Daredevil. He's a busy guy. He's going around. He's dealing with Elektra.
mhm,
He's dealing with ninjas. He's dealing with Foggy. He's dealing with his girlfriend. All
yeah.
in one issue. I mean, there was a lot going on. and
Oh yeah, a lot to juggle.
and yeah, he's and then you get the super ninja Kirigi. Uh Kirigi, something like that.
Yeah, I couldn't pronounce it either.
But action packed
Hmm.
issue. Um, Miller's jumping from one thing to the next. And he's keeping the pace very rapid. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoy his stuff. It's pretty good. Then in the 176, you got that guy Pike, that poor guy in his apartment who can't get a break.
Yeah,
he Everybody's looking for Stick, and they all keep jumping in his apartment and breaking stuff and destroying his walls and his furniture and everything else just because they're looking for Stick. It was amusing, but I was just like, okay, this this schnick is getting old. But
yeah, yeah. It was. So what I was curious. 175. So, like you mentioned, it's action packed. I like it, Miller's action. Like, it's not easy to draw action, combat, and fighting. So, I was curious what you thought because he, at the end of the issue, he does confront Elektra like, "You're an assassin. You're a cold blooded killer. I'm taking you in," and then he collapses. But he had the chance to take her in, and he didn't a few issues ago. So, I wonder, would he have really taken her in?
nah, he's full of it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But he was, you know, I mean, Bullseye is I mean, of course, Bullseye is, you can't really compare the two. One's a hero or anti-hero, one's not, one's a villain. But yeah, I just thought that was in. Are you really going to take her in? Because you guys have a thing going. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, he's definitely one of those characters who has this he has his scruples, so to speak, right? And he knows that she is a killer. She's done bad things. Um, and so he has his scruples, and he's one of those types that has to state them. He has to, bring out that statement about himself in order
Yeah,
to assuage his own conscience or whatever. Even though we know deep down, and he probably does too, that he would never actually bring her in for anything because one, she's not gonna go along with it, and and so it's not, and the system probably isn't going to work the way he wants it if he ever was able to bring her in. So there's a lot that goes on there. He obviously still has feelings for her from their time when they were younger. So there's a lot mixed up in that head that him saying that I'm going to bring you in is just what's the word for it? It's
posturing or
yeah, it's just posturing. Yeah, that's it. Um, he it's like I have to say this now that I said it. I'm going to collapse. Okay.
yeah, yeah. Okay, I wanted to make sure I wasn't alone. And then, of course, Foggy, as usual, just manages somehow to pull it, to pull it out of his orifice somewhere and
Yeah.
saves the day on accident. But yeah. So 176, we get more of the Pink Ninja, and there's a scene here. There's a piece of art with Daredevil sitting on the side of the building that reminded me of the Spider-Man cover.
Oh yeah.
The Ramita, is it Ramita cover? So yeah, it's Matt sitting on the side of the building, his head down, his mask off, and it really I have to think that influenced that famous artwork from Spider-Man.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's a good. It's a good panel.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, you wonder how closely all these guys work together in the Marvel bullpen back then, and um, there's no doubt that they all saw each other's work, so they were probably influencing each other back then.
Yeah, and of course, Matt is upset over not having his radar, and he's like completely useless now. I guess for some reason, but
Yeah, which is the whole reason he's searching out this guy Stick. And of course, we know Stick from the show. Um, and I've read other stuff with Stick in it. From I think Bendis had used him as a character on his run on Daredevil. So but this is the origin of Stick, I believe. This is where we first find out about him. So it's gonna be interesting to see how Miller approaches that training. That apparently Stick is the guy who trained Daredevil originally.
Mm.
So we'll see. We'll see. If we get an origin story for him, or what's going to come up next with that character.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, 175. Back to the action. 176. Matt's brooding and upset.
Yeah, and poor Pike gets his apartment destroyed.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I mean, not a ton. I mean, there are some events, but mostly just Elektra and Daredevil beating people up.
Yeah. Indeed. Yep. And of course, Daredevil goes through the whole bar routine again.
Oh yeah.
We can't go through 2 issues without having one of those.
No, I laughed when I saw that. It's like, okay, yeah, he needs information. So go to the bar and beat somebody up.
Yeah. And how, I mean, a lot of this stuff seems silly now. Like, how easy was it for Turk to go steal some super equipment so that he could have a powerful suit?
Yeah.
And break
apparently
through.
it doesn't take a lot of effort. But
Yeah, right.
yeah.
This low life scum villain, this low life, scum can just, oh, wait, I'm going to go over there and break into this building and steal this high tech, top secret equipment and go bust in some poor guy's apartment to find out where Stick is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a little silly.
It's a little silly, but it's it is what it is. Still enjoying the artwork though. I think the artwork's yeah,
the artwork's fun. And I do like it when Miller explores some more serious topics.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully he'll get back on that.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah. So because I still don't really see if we're looking at this from kind of a top down view, I don't see a common a narrative that runs through all of what we've read so far. Electra's pretty new. I mean, I don't really see there's not like a backbone to the story yet. There's not to connect it all as an ongoing.
Yeah, we're getting the introduction of a lot of characters who have stuck around over the years. And I mean, we do have that slight, Kingpin background.
Yeah, that's true. We have the Hand, we have Elektra. Lots of characters.
We'll see if the Hand evolves into something more and stuff. And I know, I know there's a famous cover coming up with, spoiler alert, Elektra dies.
You ruined a 40-year-old comic.
40-year-old spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But and that's like a famous Miller cover, that shot of her being stabbed like that. But so I don't know if that comes in during this run or if that's later on, or I'm kind of curious. But
yeah, I guess the common thread could be the characters he's introducing. So
yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So next week we'll be reading 177, 178. Hope you join us. Check it out on Libby or Hoopla. Read along with us and let us know if you have any thoughts about Daredevil or any thoughts about any of the books we talked about this week. And it's fun to read along with everyone, and it's free. So nice.
Indeed.
So we are on episode 114, turning away until next week with 115. Jarrod, where can people find you?
You can find me at the Fancy Thinker YouTube channel. You can find me on the Speculation podcast and on Film Chewing with the Oscar Project.
Yes, we are up to, I think Gandhi just was released this week. And next up is Amadeus. So we're a little bit ahead. 1984, I think.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Yeah, so you can find me on patreon.com. Come by and say hello. We have community forums. Come and tell us what your thoughts are there as well. And, if you have any thoughts on the Warner Brothers sale, any speculation, let us know, and we will read it off on an upcoming episode. If you have any predictions, we can take some bets, and maybe we'll have a pool going. But yeah. So until next time, we hope everyone has a fantastic day and enjoy your books, and we hope you find your pick of the week.
Bye-bye.